What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Excusez-moi. Just got to make sure my ginger lemonade went down completely. And this is the Morning Vibe broadcasting live on Monday, August 11th. We're almost at halfway of August month. But here in Toronto, heat wave, Greater Toronto area, heat wave. Like we're projected to get up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit for another day today. This is part of this, like Toronto has heat alerts. This is our 6th heat alert in the summer. So think about it. Basically in a month and a half, we've had 6 different incidents of heat alerts. Out of bounds when you talk about Toronto stuff. Like, again, they said that this past July was the hottest July in the last 5 or 6 years in the Greater Toronto area. And believe me, we feel it. Morning Vibe. All right, many of you say, okay, we were blessed the last 2 days. We had Ryan Knight, co-host for the full shows. Uh-oh. So he sent me a message this morning saying that he had to go out do some things for his business, detailing nights, so he probably won't be with us. They say he may chime in. But not definite. But what's everyone up to? If you want in the comments, share a win that you've recently had. We have a win that you're going to enjoy today. And now, if people watch anything I did over the weekend, they have a thing what I'm going to be talking about. But if you're just morning vibe people, that's okay. As long as you're something, it's better than nothing. Fitness IQ Cam says, morning. Hello, Fitness IQ Cam. What's been going on today? How's your weekend? Hope your injury is healing or better. Yeah, but this weekend, we tested something on Saturday. We also did something on yesterday with it, and we're going to introduce it to the Morning Vibe family today. And I think you're going to like it. Yeah, I think you're going to like it. Okay, so here we go. So just right out of the box. Been wanting to do this for a long time. We're still testing it now. You can watch the show. You can provide comments on the platform you're watching. You can now call in. This is a new feature for all the Dr. Vibe shows that I do. If you want, you can now call in via laptop, desktop, tablet, what else? Smartphone. You can call in audio-wise live. And a few people may know about it, but this is the Morning Vibe people. And so what you need to do, or you can actually swipe the QR code. So whether you go on your favorite browser and put in https://callme.road.com, or you scan the QR code, it's going to take you. You know what? Why don't I just do it myself? Yeah, really. I want to show you what it will do. So let me get my camera out. Let's see if it's going to work for me. It'd be pretty bad if it didn't. All right. So if you scan. All right. So what you're going to see, and I don't know how well this is going to see. You're going to get to this site, and what you got to do is you put in the code, which is FSPL8L, and then you continue. And then, okay, so I'm going to do it. But why don't I show and prove? Okay, FSP, L8L. So I've put it, see, I don't know how well you can see this. Yeah, maybe that, there we go. I've somewhat put it there. You press continue, allow, and then you enter your name in the field, and then put join call. I will see that you're calling in, and we'll be able to patch you in live. And we know that this works. How do I know it works? Well, on Saturday, on Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. And Aisha wasn't with us. She had family commitments. But Dr. Tachi was with us. Guess who was the first person who called in? Guess who was the first person to call in? Anyone have any guesses? There are already 12 people in the space. So this is I was speaking it, that there'd be a lot of people here to hopefully take advantage of this new feature. Anyone want to guess who was the first person to call in? Okay. It was Ryan Knight, and he had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Tachi and Lala, and it went on for about 10, 15 minutes. It was amazing. Then last night on Black Men Can Talk, Mark Lewis, longtime gentleman in the IT field, called in for a number of moments, said also, you have that opportunity today to call in and enjoy the vibe. Enjoy the vibe. So I'm really excited. And I said, okay, Carolyn's coming on. She gets a lot of people asking questions. So maybe people now, instead of putting them in the comments, they can call in and ask questions. Now I'll be watching. And if you don't behave yourself, I'm going to cut you. So just ahead of time, make sure you behave yourself. But I wanted to announce this today. Very excited to have this. We're testing it to see how it works. Also would like your feedback on it. I'm really excited. This is something I believe that will, in a good way, set what I do online apart from many other live conversations out there. And it's a great feature. It's a great feature. Fitness IQ Cam says 95% better after 4 weeks. Very good to hear. You got to let the body heal. Then she says, calling in? Yes, calling in. Producer Matt says, this is a great feature, everyone. Looking forward to hearing your voice when our guest comes in. Okay. And Fitness IQ says, Ryan was actually my guest. Yes, Ryan called in. He was on the road. And if you want, you can go to the replay. I encourage you to go back to the replay of Primetime. And I can't remember when he called in, but you know what? You should listen to the whole conversation anyway. It was so good. It was so good. So that is a win that I'd like to share with you, because no one asked me if I have any wins. Though when we're on Black Men Can Talk, they asked me what win I've had. So there you go. Other than that, hope you had a great weekend wherever you are. And if you're not watching this during a weekend period, hope you're doing all right, fine and safe. Summer in this part of the world is slowly but surely going away. But we're not thinking about that. We're in the middle of the heat. We're in the middle of the heat. All right, we are going to go for about a break for a few minutes. We'll do some house stuff. Then we'll bring Carolyn Nichol on, and we hope to have some questions happening. So we'll be back in about a minute on The Morning Vibe.
We invite you to the 3rd annual Toronto Pan-African Film Festival. Rhythm, the heartbeat of Black music and storytelling, taking place at the First Unitarian Center at 473 Oakwood Avenue in Little Jamaica, featuring Play It Loud, Box Cutter, King's Court, Paid in Full, Sounds and Pressure, Amplify, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, Zeke, and Hip Hop Story. And join us for the African Diaspora Media Brunch, taking place on August 17th at the Aqua Supper Club, featuring Philip Scott from the African Diaspora News Channel. Get your tickets now by visiting tpath.com.
We are back, and just saying, I'm going to be part of that. So this coming Sunday, I'm going to be part of the media panel at the Toronto Pan-African Film Festival. So I want to encourage you to support, buy tickets, see if you can make it out. Actually, it starts, I believe, on the Friday. 3 out of the 4 days, 2 out of the 4 days are being held in Little Jamaica. So you can check things out in the Little Jamaica area. And you know what? Give me a second, folks. I'm not liking the way I'm looking here today. It's not, okay, that's better. All right. Yeah, so check it out. So Fitness IQ Cam says, your win is every day waking up. Hey, that's a small win, but for a lot of people, that's a big win. 100%. 100%. All right, let's get to some house stuff. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We're so close to, I think it's at 1,800 and, I got to check, but 1,800 and something subscribe. We haven't hit the next barrier I want yet, but we've got getting back some more momentum. But if you haven't, subscribe and hit the notification button on the YouTube channel and tell other people about it. Please do. And I have a feeling more people may want to check in now because they have the opportunity to call in. All right, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. We are broadcasting live on Substack, so hello, Substack family. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Please email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com or click on the link that you see on the screen to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that we are a part of. Email me, dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. And then finally, we can't forget her, Dr. Tachi. Indie Soup TV, independent content creators platform, about 25 of them. I'm one of them that is on it. And about 28,000 YouTube subscribers. And never underestimate that only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 28,000 subscribers. And I'm working at some stuff in regards to YouTube also. I getting some thoughts and some guidance and suggestions when it comes onto YouTube, but also there's a website. All right, it is the second Monday of the month, and every second of each month we have light shone into our lives, verbally, emotionally, edible wise. We are blessed and highly favored to have Carolyn Nichol come on the platform. Ms. Nichol, what? Oh, you know what? We got to do something, Ms. Nichol. There we go. You deserve that, Ed. You can tell she's not used to that. we can't. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself.
I lived with those sounds when I was 16 and 17 in my club days. So you just brought me back to some very, yes.
Love Carolyn at the club.
Carolyn at the club, yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline. We ain't gonna get into too deep of that. That's another part of the life. So let me ask, are you excited maybe to have some people call in and have some questions live?
Yeah, I think that's a really cool feature. This brings a whole new dynamic. So yeah, definitely. This will be great, especially as you said. I guess nutrition. There's so much information out there, and so whenever we have these nutrition talks, seems like there's just a whole heap of questions. But I can see how it can also possibly need some extra monitoring and control. But
I will. I got that. I have the power of the
hang up button.
Cut it what I want. So that's all good. But we're going to encourage.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's going to bring some. It's nice to hear different voices. It's nice to have a more personal touch, as if we're all here together. So yeah, no, I think it's great.
Excellent. And I just want to if we can put it up on the screen again, people, you can now call in through your laptop, desktop, your tablet, your smartphone. You can use the link there, https://callme.road.com, or if you have your cell phone, you can scan the QR code. So either one of those ways will take you to that site. You got to put your name, put in the code that we have there, FSSPLA8, and say, join the conversation. I will see on my machine here that you want to come in, and we'll let you in. So just want to make sure that people are aware of that. So what's been going on since we last saw you?
Well, you know what? I have had some, I won't say that it was necessarily a restful vacation, but it was definitely a change of pace. I had my grandkids up here in the north with me for a week, and then we were in Quebec with our family for about 4 days. So it was very, very full and busy, but really nice to spend some time with family. But this has been like a good week to be back and get caught up. And now we're gearing up for September. Will be our September's the new January. Our weight loss challenge will begin. Get all the, all this heat makes people eat more ice cream. So we've got to work all those calories off everybody's body. And also, we are entering into the end of our early bird discount for next year's retreat. So we've kind of done things well in advance. But we have 2 retreats going on, 3 retreats next year, and end of September means no more $150 off.
Okay.
So we're really starting to see a ramp up on our retreats, which is really exciting. Our retreats are so awesome.
What was it like trying to take a vacation?
The reality is that I still like run 2 businesses, right? So I mean, I can put, consultations on hold, and I can like, block off my calendar so that I'm not, busy on the phone, but I'm still running 2 businesses. So with 3 cute little grandchildren who require so much love and attention, it was it was a little bit of a pull, but it was just so great to spend so much time with my grandkids. And then my family's awesome. So if I needed to pull away to just get a little bit of work done while we were in Quebec, it was no problem, and no offense for anybody, but yeah, I'm not opposed to vacation. It's just, as an entrepreneur, I'm not in a place where I could just let go of my business and disappear for a week or 2 weeks. I'm not in that place. I'm still very much involved. Maybe one day, but for now, I still have to do a little bit of both, which is okay. I love what I do.
Oh, well, it absolutely shows. It absolutely shows. Uh, okay, well, we're talking today, or you're going to show us today diet trends, what's going on with keto, paleo, and intermittent fasting. Now, do you have stuff you want to hear? Because I'm coming with the questions.
Yes.
I'm coming with a question. So, but it's always your show. I just steer the ship.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is that because I am a nutritionist and because I'm talking to people about their health all the time, when I do an intake with people, you're asking them what their schedule's like, what their eating is like, and there is a growing trend of this ketogenic diet, the paleo diet, the carnivore diet, and most everybody is doing some form of intermittent fasting. But we have to be so careful. I mean, there's some really great things on social media, like the Dr. Vibe show. But there's so much information overload that we are not being critical thinkers anymore. We're allowing those who are doing these episodes, doing these reels, critically think for us without us. And it sounds so good, and we're not pulling back to put a stop or a pause on that and researching or understanding the human body outside of social media to say, like, is this a good diet trend? Is this a good thing for me to follow? Just because everybody's talking about it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do. In fact, let me just say one thing is that truth is never popular. So when something's too popular, it's probably not good for you or not true.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's, there's just so many people on this ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, paleo diet, that I think we don't really understand what that's doing to the human body. And I think we need to be more critical thinkers and be, a lot more educated on how the human body works and are these trends good for us or not.
Love it. Love it. Fitness IQ Cam says it's very tricky.
Very tricky.
Very much so. Well, keep on going, because I've loaded up. Because when you come on, especially, I got my list.
So let's just understand, what is the paleo diet? What is the ketogenic diet? What is the carnivore diet? What is intermittent fasting? So let's just understand that. So first of all, paleo, not as popular as the other two, but the paleo diet means that what you're trying to do with the paleo diet is you're trying to go back to what they would say is the Paleolithic time when humans lived on what they would say, or what the information out there is, that we're living in a time where there was no agriculture. So I'm a Bible believing person. Like, we were designed with agriculture, doing agriculture, right? That was our job, Adam and Eve's job in the garden. So I would say no real organized agriculture. So they're suggesting that we go back to the day where we're just gatherers and hunters. So only what, naturally grows or you could naturally kill. So all animal products are game. All vegetables are game. Some fruits are game, but you're staying away from all grains. You're staying away from anything processed, anything refined. In fact, paleo doesn't even really promote dairy products. Very, very little. So no beans, no grains, no dairy products. You're eating a heavier meat diet. And of course, you can eat vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. And they do allow, which is surprising, some nutritious fats and oils, but all oils are refined in some way and processed. So that's a little strange. Seems like a bit of a compromise there, but that's the paleo diet. So you're just going back to being a hunter or a gatherer. Okay. Now the ketogenic diet is a little different. The ketogenic diet is more towards having a high fat, high protein diet, little carbohydrates. And understand that all plants are carbohydrates. So when we think of carbohydrates, we think of bread and rice and pasta. But the truth is, a lettuce, scientifically speaking, is a carbohydrate. Anything that comes from a plant is a carbohydrate. So they want you to be less on the carbohydrates, higher on the fat and protein, to put your body into ketosis. So ketosis means that you are no longer using glucose for fuel, you're using fat for fuel. So the body's natural ability is to take your carbohydrates, convert it to glucose, and glucose is converted into energy. Ketogenic doesn't want you to do that. They want you to stop all the glucose intake and force your body to take fat and convert it into fuel. So you're trying to constantly put yourself in the state of ketosis. That's the ketogenic diet. And then you have the carnivore diet, which again is similar to paleo to some degree. They want you to go back to pre-agriculture, no gathering, and all hunting. So you actually eat no vegetables, no fruits, no grains. You just eat meat for breakfast, meat for lunch, and meat for dinner. And you're getting all your nutrients just through the meat. And there's been studies shown that meat is almost void of all nutrients, but there's microscopic amounts of antioxidants and vitamin B in your meat, where anyway, we can unpack that later. So, and then intermittent fasting, of course, is something that is where you are trying to do a 16-8 method. So 8 hours of eating with 16 hours of not eating. So all of these trends are what's super popular today. But I will tell you that we're not educated enough on the effects of the human body. And it sounds good and it even feels good for the first little while, but the long-term effects are super detrimental. And me as a nutritionist, I'm like, the disaster cleanup. So I'm working with all these people that have been on paleo or carnivore or ketogenic or the wrong type of intermittent fasting. And now I've got to help them do the cleanup for the dangers that have happened uh, to their organs, which is what we can talk about a little.
Lots to catch up on and lots of stuff to do as always when Carolyn is on the platform. So some messages here. Look who's in the house. Wayne Harris says, hello, Doctor and Ms. Carolyn. Starting a juice fast today. You're on mute. Carolyn, unmute yourself.
Realize.
Okay, there you go. What were you going to say? Your face
That
showed.
is amazing. I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed. You are putting that juicer you bought to good use. Amazing.
All right.
Keep on.
The Walla Mala goes, go old school. All right, let's see. And then, so before we go further, I just want to put up get all of Carolyn's contact information out there now, because as we get going, sometimes I forget to put it up. So first things first, website, the Energy Shack Juice Bar, email info@Energy Shack Juice Bar, Instagram @The Energy Shack Juice Bar, Facebook, Energy Shack Juice Bar, phone number 647-637-6755. And don't be deceived by that. She serves people worldwide. So if you're not calling available, email, and she'll make that happen through something like Zoom. Also, if you have any questions about physical health for Carolyn, please email her at info@theenergyshackjuicebar.com and say you saw her on the Morning Vibe. Also, here's the link for consultations, and I'll be sharing this in the comments section throughout the conversation. Also, special offer, consultation with a nutritionist for $49 instead of $110 price when you mention the Morning Vibe or the Dr. Vibe show. So email info@theenergy Shack Juice Bar. I think we've caught up with everything we need to. All right, that's great. Also, I want to again put it out there. If you want to ask Carolyn a question live, go to if you're on like a computer, laptop, desktop, tablet, put in https://callme.ro.com, or if you have, I guess they call these things a smartphone, go on your smartphone, scan the code. Once you get to the website, put in this code, FSPL8L, everything capitals, letter-wise, your name, and then join conversation, and we'll patch you into the show. I'm going to see who's going to be the first person to call in on the Morning Vibe, because we had our first person on Saturday, on Primetime Saturday with Isha and Lala. That was Ryan Knight. Yesterday, Wayne Harris, you're listening live on my show, Black Men Can Talk. Your good friend, Mark Lewis. And he actually mentioned and gave you big ups during the conversation that we had live with him. Who's going to be the first person today? All right, Carolyn, continue.
Well, so I think it's important that the truth is that if you follow the ketogenic diet, the paleo diet, the carnivore diet, you will lose weight. Your blood sugar will go down. Your blood pressure will most likely drop to normal levels. So this is expected because you have cut the carbohydrates and you're now burning fat for fuel. So you're losing cholesterol, you're losing fat. So initially, these diet trends are apparently a healthy way to go. However, they're not sustainable and they actually create long-term damage, especially onto very important organs. And there's enough scientific study and research out there, because the truth is this is just, Atkins come back with a vengeance. I don't know if anybody's here, any children of the 90s, but when the Atkins diet was all the rave, 20 years later, you see all these people on the Atkins diet that have major kidney failure. So why is this? So we need to really understand that, health is a long-term commitment. Just like Wayne is here. I haven't talked to Wayne for a few months, but yet he's still on the road. He's still doing his fasting. It's a long-term commitment. You can't make a long-term commitment with ketogenic, carnivore, paleo. You can't make a long-term commitment with those. So what happens when you get off? It's very dangerous to make a long-term commitment with those diets. They're diet trends. They come and they go. Eating healthy should become a lifestyle, but I think we need to understand the dangers behind them and why they can be dangerous.
Good stuff. I'm disappointed. No one's called in yet, but I do see here Serena Wills. Good morning, everyone from the DMV area. Well, Serena Wills, call in. I'd love to. I know Carolyn would love to hear your voice big time on this. Let's see. Well, I know someone's in the house. The food plane
There we go.
says hello, Dr. Vibe, and the one and only Carolyn, the one and only Carolyn DS here. And then Serena Wills goes, wow, I remember the Atkins diet era. And Food Plane also says, hello, Serena. All right. So I'm counting on either Fitness IQ Cam, Wayne, Serena, or the Walamala or the Food Plane to call in.
It's okay, with or without the calls. I think it's nice to hear the voice, but there are usually some good comments and questions there.
So,
but do you have any before I jump on to just the organs of the body that are affected?
Okay. So again, Fitness IQ says, I remember that old school trend about the Atkins diet, and the Food Plane goes, what? Call in, take a look at the box in the corner. You can call in now if you've got your smartphone. Okay, we'll do it one more time before we go in, because some people have missed out. So producer Matt, if you can do that shared screen for us. Great. Again, you can call into the show now in real time, either going to callme.ro.com, or you can scan the QR code. Once you get into the site, put your name, put the code FSPL8L in capital letters, then you'll get join the conversation. Bang. You're good to go. All right, Serena. All right. So we'll take that down. We're not putting it up for a while because most of you who are here. You've seen it. Okay. Fitness IQ Cam says, I'm shy. Yeah, right. You're not shy. I've seen you Kinstonian. That's between her and I. The Food Plane says, Serena says, hey, the Food Plane. And Food Plane says, shout out to producer Matt with this fan club. All right, we're back to you. Go for it, Carolyn.
Well, did you have any questions before I jump into organs?
I have some questions. So there's been a surge in diet trends over the last decade. Keto, paleo, intermittent fasting. Why do you think so many people are drawn to these approaches?
Very good question. So I think that, it's not fun eating a salad. It's not fun. There's some great joy out of eating a big steak, out of having a juicy burger, of being able to take the limits off as much fat as you want to eat. I mean, there's so much joy and pleasure in that. So I think that these are somewhat easier ways to live. I can eat all the meat I want. I can eat all the avocado I want. I can have as much butter as I want. So I really yes, it requires a little bit of discipline and I'm staying away from my carbohydrates, but there's just so many wonderful, tasty, palate satisfying options. And at the same time, you actually do lose weight. Your blood sugar does go down. So this is, it's not that these trends aren't actually doing something physically and enjoyably to the body. And also, all the manufacturers have caught on with this. So now, you almost go anywhere and you can get keto and get this big steak and this big burger, and you're allowed to eat those things. So wow, that's great. Enjoy every barbecue. Awesome. I'll have a second steak, please. So this is I think the reason why, this is not deprivation. Deprivation is what is not fun. Discipline is what is not fun. Self-control is not what's fun. So we like easy, we like fix, we like a quick fix, and we like enjoyable. So I think that's why these are taking such, uh, you know, taking everybody by storm, and everyone's doing it.
All right. To the comments, Food Plane says, ask a question. What's one lie we've been told about health that people believe, a trend perhaps that's not just true?
Well, I'm not 100% sure what he's asking, but what I would say is,
Before you answer that, Carolyn, give some clarification on that question, Food Plane. You need to give us some clarity on that.
okay.
It'd even be better if you called in and asked that. But let's go to Dr. Tachi. Says, hello all. Good day, Dr. Tachi. And she can tell you she's one of the people, her and Ryan, the co-host, were having a good conversation on Saturday via the call-in feature. So, Dr. Tachi, would love to hear you call in. I know you're not afraid. Says, hey there, she is there. Hey there, she is Dr. Tachi. Fitness IQ Cat says a good comment. These folks want a life with no limitations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good
This
comment.
is, yeah,
Dr. Tachi. Yeah, Dr.
this is the
Tachi
world we live in. Don't put any rules on
says,
my
yeah.
life.
Dr. Tachi says, Food Plane, hey, hey. Also says hello to Serena Wills. She says, hey, sis, Serena Wills. All right. Yeah, you can continue on. I already had one good question. I can go more.
You're welcome. Throw another question, and then we'll get into the
Okay.
different organs that are affected.
Okay, so let's start with a ketogenic diet. For people, the weight loss promises look amazing. What are the biggest misconceptions about keto?
So the whole thing is in its name. Okay, so ketogenic means that you're putting your body in a state of ketosis. This is not the natural way to convert your food to energy. So whenever you're doing something that is unnatural to the human body, you're going to have trouble, especially long term. So the body's natural process is to take food through the liver, convert it to glucose, allow the pancreas to release the insulin, and then insulin goes on your cell, opens it up, glucose goes in, and bam, you have energy. The problem is that many people eat food that has too much glucose. And when we have too much glucose, obviously we have a diabetic situation. So the ketosis is, let's just completely stop glucose and use fat and force the body to use that for fuel. The problem is that your body wasn't designed to be in ketosis all the time. And then it wasn't designed to have that much fat in it either. And so you're forcing the body to do something unnaturally. And when you do that long term, now you're putting too much stress, first of all, on your pancreas, second of on all of your cells that are weighing down with all of this extra fat. And your kidneys suffer so bad because there's something called ketoacidosis, where your body actually becomes so acidic that it's starting to steal calcium from your bones. Your kidneys will fail. Your liver can't function. So long term, you've made the blood so acidic with all of the meat, the fat, the dairy products, that you're actually taxing, compromising, and losing function of your main organs that do all of your cleanup and expelling of toxins. So it really becomes a dangerous, toxic environment when you're on ketosis, you're on the ketogenic diet long term.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We're good. I am so jacked today because there are a lot of people watching live. So so I'm doing all I can to get audience engagement, some more stuff going on, but we have some comments here. Let me go here. The food. Okay, we'll get to your question moment. Food plane. The Dr. Tachi says I would, but I'm getting ready, so she won't be able to call in, but she is here. Fitness IQ Camp says I never understood keto being the choice of trend, but if you like it, love it. Now the question has. Food Plane says, what's something people believe about health that's not true?
Got it. Okay. What is something that people believe about health that is not true? One thing that people believe about health that is not true is that if I'm not in any pain, that I'm healthy.
Oh.
So the absence of pain does not mean the presence of health. Pain is something that can and will eventually come, but that's the problem. The problem is that you'd follow ketogenic diet, you'd follow the carnivore diet, and you're saying, my stomach feels like it's in less pain, I'm in less pain, my body's in less pain, but you are not looking at your organs and watching your kidneys go from 90% to 60%. You're not seeing in your body that your liver enzymes are starting to rise in your liver, causing a toxic overload and a fatty liver. So the absence of pain does not mean that you're in good health. It generally can, but it's not always the case. And that's the problem with these diet trends, is they would make you feel good for a shorter period of time. And when I say short period of time, you could be on these diets for like a year and feel great. The problem is, because you've shut off certain systems of your body, as soon as you go back to any carbohydrates, because it's unrealistic for most people to never live without them, is that your body doesn't have the ability to quickly jump and get back into the natural way of converting glucose, and it gets stored so quickly, we get fat so quickly, we become in pain so quickly. So anyway, but to answer Food Plane's question, is just simply the absence of pain does not mean the presence of health.
I love that take, because people are going to go, what? Thank you for that breakdown. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question of the audience. I'm gonna put it in the chat first, and then I'm also gonna put it up on a quick banner. So just give me a moment, because we want to find out. So I'm just gonna put it up, producer guy. So we want to hear from you. How many of you have tried the keto, paleo, or intermittent fasting? So type K, P, or IF in the chat. So it's just a quick little banner put up here, but it's also in the comments section if you're watching live. So I just wanted to see what was going on with that. So we'll go back to comment. A lot of stuff going on here, so it's good. Fitness IQ Camp says cause and effect. Also, Food Plane says, wow, great response. Well, Carolyn's here, so she always brings a great response. He also has another question. How about eating late night? Is that good? What are some of the issues that come with eating late? Now, and before Carolyn asks this was one of the first things she talked to me about when we first met. So I'm going to let her roll on this.
Well, I think that this is another problem with the diet trends today, right? Because we have intermittent fasting, where you're to skip breakfast, you eat something around 12, and then you eat again at 7 or 8 o'clock. So this, again, it's really easy to skip breakfast. It's quite the discipline to skip dinner. And so it's highly convenient to just, rush through your morning with a cup of coffee or a glass of water and not actually eat anything till 11, 12, or 1 o'clock. But then that means your second meal comes at 8. But this is perfectly acceptable with the diet trend of intermittent fasting, because then you're only eating between this 8-hour window of 12 and 8 o'clock, and you're fasting for 16 hours. So That's the studies, that's the science, that's good for you. But no, it's not. So if you look again and stop just listening to what social media tells you and what that doctor's telling you, or even what I'm telling you, look at the human body. What is the circadian rhythm of the human body?
Hold on a second. Do I have permission to interrupt?
Of course.
Okay, here we go. Caller, do I hear you? Oh, we lost them. Call again. Hold on. Okay. Oh, we lost you again. Hold on. Okay, let's try it again. Call back one more time. I think it was on my end. We had someone call in. I think that, okay. Hello? Okay, something's funny here. Try one more time. I know who, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but try one more time. It was on my end. Okay, we'll wait for the call. Continue on. I'm sorry, Carl, it was on my end that this messed up. So continue on. I'm waiting for him to call back because I want him to have him on live. So continue on.
Okay, so I was just saying that if you look at the circadian rhythm of the human body, in the morning, as the sun begins to rise, our digestive system begins to also rise. Our metabolism goes up. Cortisol naturally starts rising. At noon, our metabolism is absolutely the highest. And at around 4 o'clock, metabolism slows down. So it doesn't make any sense to eat food after 4 o'clock. Scientifically speaking, just with the circadian rhythm of the human body, it doesn't make any sense when in the evening after 4, you may say, I'm eating dinner early, it's 5 o'clock. That's so late. Your last meal should be 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon because metabolism slows down at 4. So anything you eat after 4 o'clock is going to take that much longer to digest, and your hormones are balanced in the evening. Your immune system is strengthened in the evening. Not only that, but insulin is lowest in the evening.
I have my permission to interrupt. I'm going to try one more time. Okay. Caller, are you with us? Caller, are you with us? Okay, for some reason it ain't happening, but a little.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, he's all right. Do you know that voice, Carolyn?
Not yet.
Go ahead, Mr. Juice Fast.
Hello, Miss Carolyn. How are you?
Hey, Wayne, I'm wonderful. How are you? Is this day 1?
Day 1, hour 1.
So let me ask you a question, Wayne. I'm going to put you on blast here for a minute. Are you fasting because you've been way off track, or are you fasting just because this is your new way of life?
Yes and yes. 100%. I have to say that when I don't fast on my regular schedule, my body recognizes that I'm off track. So I got back on it. We bought our juicer. Yeah. We are using our Energy Shack bottles to portion out our juices. And yeah, I think this is now lifestyle. I don't think I can go back to eating heavy at night and eating trash and hoping that I'm going to feel better in the morning. So I think that this is the way to go. I'm up a few pounds, but I went to Cuba, Barbados, and Vegas over the last 3 months and just got back from Brooklyn, New York. It was very tough to stay on target. But salad before a meal, always. This has been religion since I met you.
Yep.
Awesome. I love it. That's so great. And the beauty is that you know how to reset. You know how to get back, and you know what good feels like. So that's the beauty, is that, and this is like, it's actually attainable, and it's healing all your organs at the same time. It's really beautiful. I think it's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. Listen, I can tell you that the effects of highly processed food and sugar, my body immediately goes into inflammation. I mean, it's not even a delay. As soon as I eat anything that's trash, my body says, "Oh, you're back to your old ways again. Let me just inflame and cause you a little more arthritis and cause you a little more pain in your joints, and everything just goes off the rails as soon as sugar is introduced." So I'm more careful, trying to eat clean. Angie is with me on the juice fast as well. The kids are still looking at us like we're Martians, but
That's okay.
you know, they have very high metabolism, so they can fight it better than I can fight it. But I need
Until
to.
a certain age, and then they're going to remember what mommy and daddy did.
Exactly. They're writing checks today that their 60-year-old body will have to cash down the road.
You got it. That's so beautiful.
100%.
So you're probably convinced about these diet trends not necessarily being the best, and I love that you're intermittent fasting the right way.
Yeah, what happens is, we're doing the blueberries, the strawberries, the raspberries, the blackberries in the morning after water, and then we don't eat anything. I've got my gym bros telling me you got to have protein 30 minutes after you come out of the gym. So my question to you is, when I come back from the gym, I'm eating my berries and whatnot, but when do I actually get to put protein into my body?
So after your berries, you should have some sort of a protein-rich food item. So whether that's going to be, for some of my clients, I would say to have a chickpea omelet, or I actually just was doing a cooking demonstration yesterday, and I showed how to make these protein-rich quinoa bars, or whether you're going to do a quinoa porridge. But after your berries, you should be having some small protein item. And then your second meal would be your salad with your protein and healthy carbohydrates again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this 2 o'clock ending, 3 o'clock ending, eating food, maybe even 4 o'clock. Honest to God, I've done it when I'm on vacation, because you have there's mango there. So I don't know if mango is good or bad, but I love it. So I eat mango with my berries and whatnot. Then I go into the water. I'm good. Come back, have our salad, have some protein with the salad. We're good. And then they don't have dinner until 6, 7 o'clock at night. But if I were to eat at 4, I'm good for the rest of the day. I don't have to eat anything after that. I can just have tea and water and I'm good for the rest of the day.
Exactly. So yeah, you're trying to have like a meal around 9 or 10, and then your second meal around 2, 3, 4 o'clock the latest. You're just trying to eat twice for the day. Your fruits plus your protein item, your salad plus your protein and healthy carbohydrates.
So 2 meals a day, this 3 meals a day thing, and these bodybuilders with 6 meals a day, this is trash.
Trash. Listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He even disagrees after all those years of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even eating an ounce of animal product today, and he's sorry he ever did.
Well, he had a quintuple bypass because of his cigars and his diet.
Yeah, and he was gorging himself on meat. I mean, he was literally on the carnivore diet for years.
Yes.
And so you're really just trying to stick to 2 meals a day, the raw before the cooked. And this is intermittent fasting at its finest. This is where you're getting the healthy fats. This is where your body actually goes into ketosis at night like it's supposed to and uses glucose in the day. Like now we're following the natural rhythm of the human body. You don't have to follow diet trends. You don't have to worry about carrying around these high protein snacks. And Wayne, just so you know, and you can tell your trainer or anybody at the gym, they are misinformed because protein pools. So all 8 amino acids come together. Your body is constantly building protein blocks constantly. So it's actually a myth and a lie that I need protein right after I work out because I am constantly pooling protein in my system. I think we're good. Dr. Vibe, can you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys now.
For it.
All right. So the gym bros have told me, bro, you need 5 to 10 milligrams of creatine. with your protein? Yes or no?
No, no, no. So, especially for anybody that is suffering from chronic kidney disease or whose kidneys are not functioning optimally, creatine is very, very hard for the kidney to flush out. So, creatine is the byproduct of animal waste. We're animals, so we produce our own creatine. And your kidneys have a good ability to flush that out. But when you elevate that by eating meat products, having extra protein, or actually putting creatine in your system, your kidneys are so taxed. So a 20-year-old might be able to get away with it, but that's really tough on the system if you're over 50 years old. Like really hard. Like kidneys are naturally, your bodies are naturally depleting. So why make it work extra hard for what? Like, do you not feel, Wayne, that you are having like, I don't think you want to look like, you're going into bodybuilding competition. So if you're trying to create unnatural muscles, you have to eat in an unnatural way. But if you're just looking to be fit and trim and healthy, then you just eat naturally.
Okay, love that. Love that. And
Yeah.
Greek
I mean, if
yogurt.
you're feeling weak and you're feeling not strong, that's a different story. But don't try to compete with all those guys who are looking for unnatural biceps and six-pack abs that, are protruding through their shirt. We don't need to go there.
Okay, I love it. Greek yogurt, yes or no?
No, 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 nothing from a cow, a goat, or a sheep, unless you really think it's okay to drink the breast milk from another species. But that's not in my book.
I love that. All right, I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much,
right,
Carolyn.
thanks, Wayne.
I'm back on track. You changed my life. Thank you.
Hey,
God
Carolyn,
bless you.
family, thanks for calling in.
Cheers. Bye.
Peace. All right. It works, family. You see, look at all this stuff Wayne got in.
Dr. Vibe is so happy. You have a new toy.
Well, no, we have a new toy. Right? So,
It's a good toy.
okay, let me catch up because comments have been coming in. I want to catch up a little bit. So, my question, if I asked if people had done what type of fasting. So,
Right.
Wayne said he has done intermittent fasting. Walamala, internet fasting. Dr. Tachi says, IF, but not necessarily on purpose. Let's hear. Serena says, I dislike when people try to box in how I eat with one of these trends. Folks want to label how people eat, and some are simply eating healthily. Okay. What else? There's so many okay. Fitness IQ Cam says, I think I've done intermittent fasting, but not by choice. Okay, no problem. We got Wayne took care of that. He did get on live. Oh, Dr. Tachi says to Serena Wills, right, like you're on that intergalactic glacial eating diet. And Dr. Tachi goes, LOL, Dr. Tachi. The food plane says, when I gained weight, I decided to stop all bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, sugar, and dairy for 2 months. And wow, I lost a lot of weight and felt great. My cousin did it for 2 weeks and lost weight. Hello? Serena Wills. I'm having if we may need to do a part 2 because with the way the questions are coming in. So what Serena Wills said, you know what? I'm going to stop here and see if I want you to finish everything you wanted to get out, and then we can go to this.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that the message is pretty clear and understood as I'm sharing that. I mean, I don't want to come off like I'm super biased, and I think that whole foods, plant-based is the only way to go. I do believe it's the healthiest way to go, 2 meals a day. But even if you ate your meat, just you don't need it every day. Make sure you still have your salad first. But the whole concept is, and paleo, carnivore, intermittent fasting, and keto, they all have some good truths in it. The concept is you want to eat foods in their whole state. The less processed you can, as the food plane is saying, he let go of bread and pasta. We are no longer hunters or gatherers. We are not out there working for our food. We are sitting at desks. We are not very active, most of us. Some of us do have an active job. But for the most part, we can't justify the amount of carbs we're eating anyway. So I agree with some of these diet trends in that we don't need that many carbs, but we shouldn't swap that out for a high fat and high protein. We don't need that much protein or fat either. We need a whole foods plant-based diet. And if you feel like you still need your meat, no problem. Have a salad first, have your meat afterwards, and don't eat it at night. I think we just need to get back to, we don't need to like weigh out all our food and measure our food and make sure we're not eating this and eating that. Just try to eat as less processed as you can. As soon as you open a package, there's going to be a compromise. Even that yogurt, like as soon as you open a package, there's compromise. So make your food as much as you can, carve out some time, make it simple, eat your vegetables. Don't go crazy on your fruits. Mangoes are wonderful, but too much of them is not good for you either. And eat breakfast and lunch and don't eat dinner. Drink water, get sunshine, fresh air, and stop stressing about everything. And you'll find your body goes back into balance. But the truth is that when you do have a high meat diet, even if it's not processed, your blood becomes very acidic that it forces your body to take calcium from your bones and joints. So a study was done, I think it was 2022, where they had a group of 40 children that were epileptic. And so the ketogenic diet is supposed to be the best for anybody with brain seizures and although their seizures went down, so did their bone loss and so did their kidney function. So there are other ways to get rid of seizures rather than making these kids have kidney failure early on and having arthritis and osteoporosis early on. I mean, that's not a better solution. So these are real hardcore fact studies because your blood becomes so acidic from high meat, high dairy, high fat that you lose bone density, you tax your kidneys, you can get chronic kidney disease, and you tax your liver, so your organs become compromised. And the big problem of them all is that your probiotics and your prebiotics are actually found in your vegetables and in fasting through the night. So on the ketogenic diet, the paleo diet, the carnivore diet, you're not getting your probiotics or especially your healthy prebiotics. And I'm telling you, digestion's everything. Yes. So now you become malnourished. Now you don't have a strong immune system. Now you can't absorb nutrients properly. You can't even think properly because this is the centric nervous system. So again, you need to get back to basics. And truthfully, Dr. Vibe, look at the animals we eat. What animals are we eating mostly?
Cows, chickens. A lot of people have pork that's pigs.
Right. And so we think we're getting all their nutrients from them because they're so full of nutrients. Where did they get their nutrients from?
The ground, the earth, they eat. Yeah. So actually, we can shortcut and just go direct.
Right. Why are we trying to get all these nutrients secondhand? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Just past the top of the hour. There's still a lot of people here. There's still a lot of comments. Again, if you want to call in, we'll just put it up right at the top of the hour. If you want to call in, can we just put it up on the screen, producer Matt? The screen share. We can put that. Hey, if you want to call in like Wayne did, go on your phone or your digital device, put callme.road.com or take your smartphone, swap the QR code. It will take you to a site. You need to put in the code in capital letters FSPL8L, put in your name, and then hit join the conversation. And you can do it just like Wayne did. We got a pile of questions and comments, but I'm also going to put another question out to the audience. I think Carolyn will like this one. So I'm going to put this in the comments section first for people to answer. And then I'm going to put up a banner for just a few seconds, producer Matt, saying, what's one food you'd never want to give up, no matter what the diet trend says.
Hmm.
So I'd be very curious what that, and I've also put that question in your comment section. We can go back to the other lower third. Just wanted to see what people have to say about that. Now let's get back to conversation pieces. We can ask this question. Serena Will says, "What is a good window to eat breakfast?"
Yeah, that's a really good question. You want to be able to eat your breakfast within 2 hours of waking, because the problem is that if you wait longer than that, your metabolism your metabolism as the sun begins to rise, your digestive system begins to rise. Okay. Now, if you don't give it any food or fuel, and by the way, vitamin C is a great way to regulate that cortisol and protein. So that healthy breakfast is so important. But as your metabolism begins to rise, if you don't give your body fuel, your body goes into storage mode. So that's the problem really with this intermittent fasting, is that you end up going into storage mode. So come 11 o'clock, your metabolism is not as fast than it would have been if you actually ate breakfast. So you'll burn more fat and more fuel and your calories quicker, even if you had a small breakfast by the time you get to lunch. Because storage mode is not a good mode. Because when you then go eat your lunch because you've missed breakfast, your body's like, am I burning these calories or is she going to use them? Should I still be in storage mode? It's quite confusing because you went on the opposite way of your circadian rhythm. So that first 2 hours in the morning when your cortisol's rising, you really want to get your food in those first 2 hours.
All right. Good stuff. Next up, Fitness IQ Cam says, LOL. What if you wake up around 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.? Or does the same go with someone that has a night shift? Regards, with the metabolism decreasing at 4 p.m.
She's always got the real life questions.
Yeah, that is her life.
Yeah. So, I mean, you will create what's, typically known as a secondary circadian rhythm. You'll kind of create your own circadian rhythm. It's not healthy, but your body finds a new rhythm if you are constantly working a night shift, or you're constantly, having to go to sleep at 2. The last thing you want to do is not get 7 hours of sleep. So if you work a shift where you're not going to get in bed till 2 o'clock, sleep that 7 hours, even if that means you're going to wake up later, and you just do the same thing. So yes, your meals are all going to be shifted. You might not start your meal till 11 o'clock. That's still going to be 2 hours within your waking time. But just know that anybody working a night shift or anybody staying up past midnight, you're always going to have a system compromise. It's never going to be good for the body. But I mean, God bless our doctors and nurses and people that have to be up through the night. I know that unfortunately it's become a necessary part of society.
All right, just want to shout out our top contributors comments wise on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel: Dr. Tachi, Divine Right, Food Plane, and Wayne Harris. All right, let's go for some more comments. Fitness IQ Cam says, hello, Mr. Wayne. Food Plane with another question. I heard juicers are not that great because you lose all the fibers. Is that true?
So 110% if you're trying to use juice for your everyday food. Juicing, like what Wayne Harris is doing right now, juicing is actually very healing to get rid of the fiber for a short period of time through fasting, or just to get immediate nutrients in. You need fiber every day. So for your everyday eating, you want to chew through your salads, not juice them. But when you're fasting, you don't want to slow down of nutrient uptake. You want a quick nutrient uptake because your juices become your fuel, and you want that medicine that's in the juice to absorb quickly in the body. Fiber slows the transition of nutrients and glucose down, which is a good thing when we're going through our day-to-day, because it's regulating your nutrients and your glucose. But so you need that fiber day to day. So yes, a juicer is very important and a good idea, but through your fasting times, or if you want like a little glass of energy in the morning.
Okay. Fitness IQ Cam again says, Carolyn, I've been religiously doing the lime water thing first thing in the morning since my juicing with you.
Awesome. That's so cleansing for your
Yeah,
kidneys.
I've got to get back to that. I've got to get back to that. And there's times where I don't eat a breakfast, and that's not good either. So,
Yeah, it just puts weight on the body, to be honest.
yep. Serena, Food Plane says, Serena, a living room window or a kitchen window should be just fine. Just a jokey joke. I don't know what they're talking about. Plane, Dr. Tachi has a laugh emoji to the food plane. Okay, Fitness IQ Cam has a question. What age are what age does our metabolism go down? She's asking for a friend.
Okay. So generally, after about 40 years old, we have a bit of a hormone shift and your metabolism begins to slow. After 50, it gets even slower. And the truth is, this 50-year-old age is quite crucial because the body starts producing less hydrochloric acid. So you have less ability to take nutrients out. That's why your hair, like me, gets gray. But if you are eating a nutrient dense, rich diet, you really shouldn't notice any major drops or changes with your metabolism. But yes, your metabolism slows after 40, slows again after 50, and every decade it does get a little bit slower.
Okay.
And you don't need to speed that up. It's the natural process of life.
All right, the food plane says it's good to see viewers doing the Energy Shack juicing. All right. He also says earlier I was getting at the fact told butter is not good for you or eggs not good for you. Many nutritionists believe that's all lies.
So I wouldn't say that butter and eggs are not good for you because there's many good properties in them. But long term, there's zero fiber in them. Eggs are high fat, high protein. Again, they're not going to be to your detriment. You're not going to die from eating eggs. But our eggs are also loaded with genetically modified soy, um, uric acid from the digestion. Your butter is high fat, it's dairy, it's producing inflammation. But is it better than margarine? I mean, margarine is horrible for you with the seed oils. So you kind of have to pick your battles. But what you don't want to do is get on a ketogenic diet where you're putting, tablespoons and tablespoons of butter in your coffee, on your toast, and you're loading up with these fats. These are high fats and high proteins that if you are going to use them sparingly. But I wouldn't agree that they are healthy for you, but they do have some healthy properties to them.
All right. Producer Matt, if you can take the screen share down, that'd be fantastic. Food Plane is on fire with a question. He says, is yogurt overrated?
110% it's overrated.
Ooh.
Your body produces its own probiotics. You don't need yogurt in order for your body to have probiotics. You produce them yourself when you go through regular fasting intervals and when you don't eat at night and you sleep on an empty stomach. So yogurt is absolutely an unnecessary part of anybody's diet. And it's breast milk from a baby cow. Like, why are we as a human species, first of all, consuming breast milk from another species? And number two, like, who drinks breast milk in their adult years? Nobody. So why do we choose to do it? We shouldn't touch anything from, of dairy products at all. Whether it's a goat, a sheep, or a cow, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Next food plane question. Is ACV overrated?
Yes. So ACV, for those who don't know, is apple cider vinegar. And vinegar actually pickles things. So when you consume vinegar, you actually pickle and shrink your stomach. You pickle your organs, your liver, your kidneys. You're curing them, you're cooking them. So it also, ACV, as much as it helps with the digestive system, it makes your stomach acids back off because it's so acidic. So it's now doing the job of your stomach acids. So ACV is not just overrated. It's actually dangerous and detrimental to your health, and nobody should ever consume vinegar. I keep apple cider vinegar in my house all the time because it's great for catching fruit flies. It's good if someone has a skin rash or dandruff. So
Yeah.
it's fine on the outside of the body, but it's certainly not good to consume and actually dangerous.
All right. Wayne Harris says, love that. He also says 2 meals a day. First at 9 a.m., second at 3 p.m. Done and done. Bed by 10:30 p.m. Bam.
Go back to your folder, Wayne. That's it. It's all in there. Don't forget that 2 months we spent.
All right.
Obviously, he hasn't.
Food playing question, another one. What's your favorite sugar alternative and why?
Oh, look at these. I think you need to have him as a co-host maybe one day, Dr. Ryan.
I'd love him to call in, but hey, everyone's got
That's okay. That's okay.
their own.
So my favorite sugar alternative is actually date molasses. It's just dates that have been cooked down, but it's hard for me to tell because my father's Palestinian and I grew up in a Mediterranean diet, and date molasses was used and dates were used. So I don't know if it's a nostalgic thing, but I just love that chocolatey taste that it gives without chocolate because it's very dark and rich, but yet it's not super sweet. It has a little bit of a sour taste to it. It's not easy to find. You have to go to like a Middle Eastern store to get it, but date molasses is my favorite sweetener. But I probably use maple syrup a little bit more than date molasses, and I'm very sparing with honey because we know our bees are in danger.
Is honey good for you?
It's very medicinal, but we only need small amounts of honey only once in a while. We shouldn't be using tons of honey.
All right. Wayne Harris says olive, coconut, and avocado oil only to cook.
So olive oil is not the best for cooking because it doesn't handle high heats well. But avocado oil and coconut oil are good for cooking. And if you don't want your food to taste like coconut, then you can do a refined coconut oil. But the truth is, we just had like a cooking class yesterday, and I sauteed all my vegetables in water. You don't necessarily need the oils all the time, so use them sparingly. But if you do have to saute something, avocado oil or coconut oil are your best options. Stay away from seed oils. Sunflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. These seed oils are so dangerous.
Okay. Wayne Harris says bun yogurt. Bun yogurt. Love that. Excuse me. Food Plane says, wow, ACV, such a huge trend. And yes, so many people, but when you have a cold, take some apple cider vinegar and this and that. And I remember that was one of the first things Carolyn told me when we first met. Don't touch apple cider. Don't put it in any sort of vinegar in your body. Period. Wade Harris says, the folder is the way. I love that. Food Plane says, yes, I have used date syrup before and even made it myself. I even use date sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
He also says I've made date sugar and date syrup from he asks, what your thoughts on duck fat and beet tallow? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so again, you're talking about animal products that are super high in saturated fat. So again, that's going to be a better option than your seed oils and your margarine, but I'm just not an endorser of any animal products at all. I don't believe, I believe if you're stranded and there's nothing else to have and you need to kill an animal to survive or use their skin to keep you warm or something, but I just don't understand the brutality that has to happen to all these animals, because why? You can get protein from beans, nuts, and seeds. Why do we have to use all these animals, their fat, their flesh, to feed us when those are not nutrients the body actually requires? This is for our own satisfaction. And that, to me, becomes a very cruel world. I'm not against killing animals if it's necessary for survival, but this is not the place that we're in. We can get protein from so many other sources in a very sustainable way. So I'm not a fan of beef tallow or duck fat at all.
Good morning, the office of Tim Frey. Good to see you here this morning. Uh, Question has been very hot. Oh, well, the food plane says, I hear you. We have been cultured since the beginning of time to eat meat.
Well, the truth is that it hasn't always been that way. You know, if you go back to even 200 years ago and you just look at, look at times of slavery. Look how long the black slaves were living compared to the white man who they didn't find sugar, but the white men that were using the sugar and eating the meat, and the slaves couldn't. The slaves were living to 120 years old, and the white men were dying at 60 years old because that was the rich man's food. But now here in America and everywhere else, meat is on every corner, sugar's on every, we can all get it. We can all get it, and we're all eating it, and we're dying the white man's death. That's the truth. But meat was never really a part of everybody's everyday diet. Talk to your parents or your grandparents that are in Jamaica, the Caribbean, or even Italy or wherever. They wouldn't eat meat every day. It was not available all the time. It was hard to get. They were eating mostly just from their garden and their ground, and meat was on special occasions or maybe on a weekend. So like it's yes, it seems like it's been a long time, but it really hasn't been. We weren't eating meat most of Earth's history. That was it's kind of a new trend that's happening today because it's so mass produced, but we're losing our rainforests, we're destroying animals, animals are being brutalized because we demand so much meat. And there's so much slavery still happening today because we demand so much sugar, cacao, all of these resources that the earth doesn't naturally produce, but it does naturally produce foods, grains, nuts, vegetables, and fruits.
Okay. Wayne Harris has a question saying, if you can't eat nuts, what do you replace them with?
Sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. And hemp seeds are also a good option.
All right. I think we covered a lot today.
You sure did.
Was Okay, Food Plane says, Carolyn, are you ever curious when you see a good hamburger or piece of steak, regardless of your views on it?
I will tell you that nothing smells so good as a barbecue, with that smoked meat. That's for sure. But keep in mind that I've had I changed my diet at 17, so I'm 50. That it's been a long time, but I lived off pork rinds and hamburgers and corned beef, and I
Yeah.
mean I lived off of that stuff. So I'm not a stranger to those, and I don't miss them at all. Zero. I mean, believe me, I think I would probably eat meat unless if that was the only thing left for survival. I mean, I'm not against eating meat. I just don't think it's necessary to eat today. But no, I think a barbecue smells really good with meat on it for sure, but it doesn't tempt me or make me want to eat it. I'm so happy with my plant-based whole foods diet. It's not even a diet, it's a lifestyle. And at 50, I feel awesome.
Wayne says, hi, I have those seeds daily in my salads. Food Plane says, I appreciate your honesty. Uh, and here we go. I was going to ask this question, but Food Plane, maybe he needs to take the seat. If there's one thing we need to change right now, just one, what would it be?
Just one, stop eating dinner. Yeah. I call it death by dinner. I think most people are not well because we eat after 4. Yeah, if there was one thing that you're going to change, even if you don't take the meat out of your diet, it would be dinner. Just stop eating dinner. I mean, if I could do number 2 and 3, I would say, ditch the dairy, ditch the sugar, and eat your salads. But
Salads, yep. I thought the salads would definitely would maybe find a way in there, but
yeah, but stop eating dinner.
My major meal always starts with a salad, or even if it's just lettuce, tomatoes, and lemon vinaigrette dressing, it always has some salad is become core.
Yeah, and that's so good. And the thing is that you could eat a big salad with lots of veggies and your beans, but if you're, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, I'm just saying for the public that if you're eating that at like 6 or 7 o'clock, it's not doing your body any good. It's actually doing it detriment. So
Wow.
it's very important that we don't eat in the evenings. Once in a while, you're going to have an event, you're going to need to eat dinner. The next day, maybe you do what Wayne's doing and do a little fasting reset. But if we all stopped eating dinner and just ate breakfast and lunch, first of all, you'd have less groceries. Second of all, you'd sleep better. And thirdly, your body would heal like in an incredible way.
Okay.
Yeah, and that brings us back to just this whole diet trends. Intermittent fasting done the right way, breakfast and lunch and no dinner. You do your 16-hour fast from 4 p.m. till the morning. Now that's where healing is. Ketogenic, paleo diet, carnivore diet, some concepts are good, but they have some truth mixed with error. So just eating a whole foods plant-based 2 meals a day, as close as you can get to that protocol, I mean, that's just where we need to be.
Excellent. Uh, Two last comments, and you probably got 10:30, don't you?
I moved it to 10:45,
Oh,
just so
hey,
I have
man.
time to
Thank
read
you.
through.
All right. So Food Plane says at 50, you look great.
Thank you.
You're braver than I, Food Plane, because my mama raised me. You never talk two things with a lady, age and weight. So you're the brave one.
Okay, I was public with it.
Okay, that's true. Wayne says reverse osmosis or fridge filtered.
Reverse osmosis.
Love it. Love it. Let's see if there's anything I want to ask before we there's so much stuff I want to ask. Okay, let me do this one here before we go. Okay, we got that one. Okay. Uh, why do some people thrive on these diets while others see their health decline?
Yeah, so that, first of all, when you drop all your carbs, your sugar, your processed food, you're going to see a benefit. So some will thrive. I don't know anybody yet that has thrived for more than 5 years. There's always a decline after that. But if you already have a chronic kidney disease, like if your kidneys are already not functioning optimally, and if you already have a fatty liver or elevated enzymes, if you already have bone density issues and you jump on these diets, it's almost immediately you're going to have trouble. So, like I said, you might not even know that you have these issues, but that's where you're going to not do very well at all. But those who feel good in the beginning can easily develop those issues later on.
Good question. Uh, wow, Food Plane and Wayne Harris are on fire. Let me get my question in first because they got more coming. So, okay. All right. Do you think the diet industry exploits our desire for quick results? How should people fact check health claims?
So it's really, really hard to fact check health claims. It's difficult because we use the internet to fact check health claims, and the internet is, fake news most of the time. So it's really difficult. I mean, you can use the internet, but you have to dig deep. But that's why for me, like I keep textbooks, I keep, anatomy and physiology books. I have books that were written in like 1950 and 1960 about the human body. Believe me, we think we have more knowledge today, but we're really, really lacking. So you've got to fact check by really trying to look at the human body and understanding how it works. And remember that news, social media feeds, like remember that there's only a few big powers in the world. They want you to hear what benefits them. So you're not, truth is just not going to be popular. if there's a diet there that's going to make people more sick or more dependent on medication, you're going to hear about it. If there's a diet out there that's going to make people use medication less and longevity increase without medication, you're not going to hear much about it. Right? So just understand that what we hear, social media, all these reels, all these doctors talking, who are they being paid by? Who are they supporting? If they're so big on social media, who's their biggest funders? You know, and so keep in mind that they have another agenda for sharing this information. And you can go online and say, is coffee good for you? Yes. Is coffee bad for you? No, coffee's bad for you. Yes, coffee's bad for you. You can make the internet tell you whatever you want. You start looking at keto diet online and all your feed is going to send you all these benefits of keto diet. You're going to say, I want to eat plant-based. Your feed's going to give you that. So just keep in mind that you like social media, which is why I turn it off. I don't use social media for anything personal. I barely use it for the store. I don't watch reels. I don't look at anything. I read books. Not saying I don't ever use the internet for some information and looking up studies, but we've got to shut off social media and letting everybody critical think for us and start to really seek knowledge, go to a library, get a book, understand, educate yourself in a natural way where your brain actually functions and your body works. And if you don't eat dinner, it works better.
All right. Last conversation of the day. How much water should we really be drinking a day? The food plane asks.
So can you type this out, Dr. Vibe? It's your weight.
Okay, hold on.
Divided by 8.
So I'm gonna. Okay, if your weight.
No, not if your weight. It's your weight.
Okay, hold on. Your weight. Yep.
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2.
Divided by 8.
Divided by 8.
That's the amount of 8-ounce glasses of water you should be drinking. Now, if you're eating a big salad every day and you have 2 or 3 cups of fruit as well in your day, you could probably take a glass or a glass and a half off of that. But that's how much water you should be drinking. And next time I am on, I'm going to talk about which water.
Okay.
Is good for you? Is reverse osmosis better? What's going on with our bottled water? We are going to.
I don't do bottled water.
Yeah, we are going to explore all things water.
Okay. Wayne says no alcohol since November 10th, 2024. Thanks again, Carolyn.
You know what, Wayne? I didn't want to ask you that question out loud. I am so glad, but that was in my mind. I was just really hoping that, praise the Lord, that is so huge. That is longevity. Alcohol is killing our liver, even 1 ounce, and Wayne knows that for firsthand.
Food plane goes great. Questions, Dr. Vibe. He also goes the love of money. Okay. Fitness IQ Cam says UGG 8.2. There you go. And this is why I can't. Everywhere I go, I have this with me. Everywhere I go. Everywhere, like especially if you're driving, it's in the cup. I'm sitting in traffic, drinking my water. It's like my sedative, all this crazy traffic in Toronto. Food plane goes, it's the best one in America, clearly filtered.
Yes.
He says, I use clearly filtered as my water filter. So there you go. All right. For those who are still here, especially if you're on YouTube and you're watching live, we would love you to rate our conversation today. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, could you type in on the YouTube channel? And we'd love to get your feedback on today's conversation. Carolyn, thank you as always for taking the time. This is amazing. This is bam bam today. But it is always bam bam. I got lots of 5s coming in, as you see. Actually, when we go offline, I have another thing to add to your segment.
Okay.
Oh, look at food plane. Food plane, you can't put 10. It's 1 to 5. You put 10, Carolyn rocks. All right, we can take everyone's going 555, which is fantastic. Uh, before we let her go, let's just go through all the different ways that you. Oh, look, people are still. Oh, look at this, Serena. Everyone's going 5 in here. Fitness IQ goes yay back in the top 5. So obviously you're looking on the YouTube page to see in regards to contributions. So the engagement. Family, you are on fire with your engagements today. And then Mr. Wayne Harris calling in. Hello. So top contributors today, comments-wise on YouTube, The Food Plane, Divine Right, Fitness IQ Cam. I think it's a little back to you, but everyone, thank you so much for making this happen today. Can we just do a little stuff for Carolyn before she leaves? Let me just say, all right. Website, The Energy Shack Juice Bar. Email info@theenergyshackjuicebar.com. Instagram, The Energy Shack Juice Bar. Facebook, Energy Shack Juice Bar. Phone number, 647-637-6755. If you have any questions about physical health for Carolyn, please email her at info@energyshackjuicebar.com and say you saw her in the Morning Vibe. Consultations, there's the link for that, Energy Juice Bar consultations. And also special offer, consultation with nutritionist for $49 instead of $110 price when you mention the Morning Vibe or Dr. Vibe. And there's the email address. Carolyn, anything else you want to share with us before we give you a few moments to breathe? And thank you for making that next one to 10:45 because usually it's 10:30. So I appreciate you making room.
Of course. You know what? I want to give everybody a challenge. Okay, here's your challenge. I want everybody from now until the next show, if you can do it, or at least for the next 10 days, don't eat after 4 o'clock. Okay?
Wow, 10 days is hard.
So let's do.
Yeah, you know what we come on, how many days were we able to not eat after 4? Okay.
Yeah, I want the audience to see how their body feels by not eating after 4. So try to have breakfast, fruits and a breakfast item. Just drink water. Don't snack. Just drink water. When you're hungry at 1, 2, 3 o'clock, have your dinner. Have a salad first. And even if there's meat or a hamburger, who cares? Just have your dinner before 4 o'clock and just drink water and herbal tea at night. And let me know how you feel.
Okay. So Serena Wills has clap emojis.
This is the challenge for the Dr. Vibe audience.
Okay. Food Plane says, thank you for the stream and thank you, Carolyn, for sharing this important life information. Wade Harris says, thank you. Food Plane, like many people are saying, wow, that's a tough one. And Fitness IQ Cam says, after a barbecue this weekend, LOL. And Food Plane says, I have to ease my way into that. This is fantastic. Well, Carolyn, you know what? We'll rock with you and I out. Okay. I was going to say take her out, but we love Carolyn, so we want to keep her on the screen as long as possible. So, as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com or click on the link that you see on the screen. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms we're on, email me. Also, if you want to get a hold of that guy they call Knight, Ryan Oneil Knight. I always have to make sure it's a KN, not an N. RyanOneilKnight.com, LinkedIn, Ryan Oneil Knight, Instagram at Ryan.99, email address workwithme at RyanOneilKnight.com. Finally, if you want to get a hold of me, there's the website, The Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show, X, DRVIBESHOW. Said my email address too many times. On Substack, you can catch me at drvibe.substack.com/subscribe. Thank you to Substack people. and Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. And you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight YouTube. We finish it off this way. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. Always thanks to producer Matt. And as always, God bless. Peace, well, keep the faith and walk good. 4 o'clock. Bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.